Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vancouver by Night, or City of Glass for this story. Uh, Here we are going to be following a group of vampires in the city of Vancouver, continuing a story that we started on a couple of years later. For this, we're going to reintroduce our now expanded group of players before we get into the story, starting off with John next to me.
Hello, I'm John, the suave talker. I am one of the first and a very close associate of the lead vampire of my area. Sorry, I don't know how concise you want it to be.
No, that was great. Pagan.
Ah, I'm Pagan. I'm relatively new to Vancouver, but I hope I can make some friends here.
On our way over to Kira.
Hello, I am Kira. I was imported to Vancouver to protect a very valuable asset.
Ellis.
Hello, my name is Ellis. I've been here for a little bit, although this is not my home city. I do quite like it here, though.
And lastly, the baby of our group, Tim.
Hi, I'm Tim. I've been in Vancouver for a relatively long time. I go to school here.
And with these brief introductions, I'm going to bring us into our first scene. You see the metal sliders close in front of you as we see the interior of an elevator. Fine wooden craft on the bottom, but still the same metal box when you break it down. Standing inside is a finely dressed man, his blonde hair slicked back, standing very calm and confident. Next to him, the long white hair of Ellis, and lastly in the middle, standing a little awkwardly, is Tim.
I am trying to make myself as small as possible in the corner.
You know, the worst part of this elevator is that it's never consistent about how long it takes to reach the top. I have had full-on conversations in here, and I've also just checked my texts. And still, the timing is always different.
Point that out. You are correct. I have noticed that too. So what are we doing with this one again?
I thought you knew.
I'm not in charge here.
I
mean,
kind of
look,
give
I'm
you
not
guys like a
really
small wave.
in charge either. I'm just an enforcer. So, what is it that you're here for then? Looking to the person hiding in the middle.
I am here to meet someone.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that someone is Siegfried.
Yes, that's really it. I guess.
And as you say that, ding, the inconsistent elevator opens.
Did it again. This elevator is sentient. Has to be.
As it opens, a familiar sight to two of our members, but new to Tim. You see a long corridor filled with decor, all very cold is the only way to describe it. It's all silver and just off of industrial, enough to seem classy. And at the very end, you see someone in a very finely pressed, almost like secretary outfit, sitting at a long wooden desk. You see as the other two people step out around you and start walking down the hallway.
I follow behind them, trying to kind of stay out of eye line of whoever's in front of them.
All right. You to the two of you, you see a very familiar sight of Siegfried's assistant.
Is the boss available? We have another stray.
You received letters, right? Yes. He asked me to have you guys go sit. And she sends you to a different room than normal. Normally you're led into his office, but you see as she says that, the door, normally off to the left side, the door to the right opens into what appears to be a black windowless room with just a solid long desk table in the center.
Torture room.
No, that's the other door. This is private conversations. Oh, come on. You should be familiar with the torture room, John.
I didn't know if we got a second one. I mean, capita keeps going up.
We wouldn't want to encroach on your territory. Now, if you would enter.
John enters. Peacefully.
All right.
Alice
The other two of you.
follows.
All right. Tim?
I follow.
You step into this room. You see a number of chairs set out through. 20 to be exact. And you see, or 21, as you see the last chair has Siegfried sitting in it at one end. He is a very tall, the only way to describe his demeanor is regal. He is someone who holds himself with this air of confidence and a high stature. His shoulders are wide, his face is very sharp in its edges, and he is standing there looking very determined.
I am trying my best to follow what the others are doing, like in front of us. Like if they were to bow or anything like that, then I would do the same. I'm trying very hard to follow what they're doing.
Ellis walks as she walks in the room, bows, and goes to her seat and sits down.
Right, you sit down at your seat. You know where to sit.
John does his pleasantries and takes his seat as well.
Right. You two sit down at the table. Tim,
All
are
right,
you
Tim's
choosing to take a seat?
Tim's seeing that that they did like a little bow and everything is also gonna do a bow, but kind of looks at the seats. They definitely seem like they knew where they were going, and I do not. So I'm gonna continue standing.
Siegfried stands there, or sits there in his chair. Thank you for coming on such short notice. There's been a problem, but I assume you know you wouldn't be here otherwise, so I'll make that part short. I guess to start us off, introductions might be in order. This is a new sire who has piqued my interest enough to stick around for a trial run. John, Ellis, I want you guys to take them under your wing and let me know how they do.
Alice just rolls her eyes.
For
But
the
not.
next
John-
part,
Politely looks disappointed, but not very noticeably.
Okay. Next, and Tim, you can sit anywhere. Just pick a seat.
Okay, I pick a seat that's not next to anyone else.
All right. It's just like the two in their like proper seat staring, and Tim's like kind of off to the like whatever is the most corner kind of
Left.
seat of the room.
Yeah.
Tim somehow found an extra chair and sitting out away from the table. It's been brought to my attention that something not possible has happened. From
What
what
do you
I've
mean,
been
not
told,
possible?
from what I've been told, someone managed to take something from a mutual partnership of mine, and now I must keep good on my promise. So you and the newbie per se, I need you to go assist them in whatever they need to keep them satiated.
May I ask what they took?
You'll get more information when you go visit your point of contact for this mission. You're also going to be getting an information analyst. They're one of the best I know. Well, that's why we keep them around, and they're quite good at what they do. Here. And he gives you, both of you get 2 addresses. One of them is for a pub in Vancouver, and the other is for what appears to be a apartment of some kind somewhere. Whichever one you go to first, there will be a contact there for you to meet, who should be helping you in this. Whatever it is, I need you to finish it up quickly. As I'm sure you're aware, big things are happening next month, and we cannot have problems running amok when the summit happens.
Right. Then, is there anything else you wish to discuss before we take our leave to deal with this?
Unless you need to bring anything to my attention, not at the moment.
And I suppose we shall get going up?
All right.
I think we should.
Then, please.
John gets up and does a nod and looks to the other two to get going.
Alice follows, bowing it before she leaves the room.
Seeing that they're leaving, I also get up and bow and quickly follow them.
Tim. Wait a minute. And he stands up, and each step he takes echoes in your head. Like a tick on the floor sounds like an explosion as he steps towards you. You came highly recommended. That is the only reason why you are still alive. So don't disappoint. And he steps past you.
I don't say anything. I just follow after the other two.
All right. As you get back into the inconsistent elevator, where are you going first? Feel free to discuss.
We should go, John. The pub for what's this other address? The apartment?
I always like to go to the den of what we're looking for before we meet
So, just to give a point of reference, you know that the pub is the site of whatever interest Siegfried has that you're going to, and the apartment is Siegfried's contact, or one of Siegfried's like analysts, essentially.
So the question is, do we want to go to the hot point first or meet the specialist first?
I think we should meet with
Personally,
the specialist first.
I would say I agree.
Okay. Then we're going to the apartment first.
As the elevator's doors close and it lowers out of sight, we are going to move along through the night. This story has started at the beginning of nightfall. For the colder months, it's starting around, 7 or 8 p.m. getting dark. You guys are able to traverse. So we'll say this starts around 9:30 as you get to the apartment. And you arrive at the door. It is a plain door similar to any apartment you've ever seen. Nothing stands out, and that's almost what
always
you
lacking
expect.
personality.
I guess
I know.
I will knock on the door.
As we shift over through the other side of the door, Pagan, you hear
There's
a knock on the door.
Alice. Oh no. Oh, whoa. Pagan is going to slowly crawl over to the door, tiredly, look through the peephole. Come with me! Thank you.
You see you see 3 figures standing there. You don't recognize them, but
Yep,
you do
That's
have knowledge that people were supposed to be coming.
Yep. Of course. Yeah, so, if you didn't hear it the first time, go away, please and kindly, thank you.
I'm gonna knock
Listen
again,
to
a
your
little bit
notes, Laura.
harder. Open up.
Do you have a letter?
Either you're the contact or you're somebody who we're taking in for the torture chambers. Which one are you?
You're gonna see the door slightly open. Who sent you? Who are you? Who are you people? Why are you at my door?
I think you know who sent us.
Wait a second. Pagan's gonna sniff. Oh, that's an alluring smell. He opens up the door fully, and you see this. He's like hunchback. He could probably stand straight, but it seems as if he prefers to hang over himself. He has one head constantly scratching his hair, and he is almost always muttering something under his breath, even if he's not directly talking to you. Okay, so you are his enforcers, yeah? What am I doing for you?
Let's run.
I'm gonna point to John and be like, well, he is.
Okay, and what are you?
I'm just tagging along.
And
Uh-huh.
that points to the young vampire.
We're on babysitting duty. Don't worry about him.
A tag along. Think of it as training.
Right, sure. Okay, so, yeah, again, what do you want from me?
Well,
You have information for us?
I have information for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What information are you looking for?
there's recently been a disturbance. There was a frenzy at a bar. We need to know everything about that.
Yeah, no, nothing big. You see Pagan kind of scuttle off to the other side of his room, not giving you explicit permission to walk inside.
I just take it.
I'll follow.
Very rude. Pagan sits down at his little computers. There are like multiple screens. Yeah, so he's scratching his head. There was a couple of thin bloods actually causing a little bit of disturbance. You know how thin bloods don't really count against the 20 limit? Well, seems that they are getting a little bit uppity. I think this. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Definitely need to deal with them.
Of course, yeah.
Dude.
Is there any other
Anything
information?
Maybe you're just asking for the bar, right? I don't. Unless you're talking about. I don't really know what else could be relevant to you.
Perhaps.
Mostly concerned about the bar.
It's just the bar, right? Yep. So then a bunch of thin bloods. I'm sure it's nothing you ancient vampires can't handle. And that one.
I've kind of chosen to stay in the doorway of the room.
Oh, kind of polite of you. Anyway, I'm not certain if I'm supposed to accompany you and investigate. But now that you've seen my face, I have no choice but to make sure this mission goes perfect. So I will be following behind from a very, very far distance away, if that's okay. Thank you very much.
Correct.
Sure.
As long as you don't cause trouble.
Yeah. That's my specialty.
Specialty, huh?
Alright, well, let's get a move on then. I don't have all night.
Right. No, I'm gonna step out of the apartment and just walk down the hallway. I don't care if the others follow me or not.
I move out of the way definitely as soon as I see you guys coming towards the door, so I'm like behind the group.
John actually looks to you and he goes, "What about you? Any ideas?"
About the bar?
This whole situation. Things he might have that we don't know to ask.
Well, I mean, that guy said that someone stole something, right?
Oh, something? Oh, you're not talking about the bar then, are you?
No, we're talking about the disturbance at the bar.
Well, there's a disturbance at the bar, and then there's something about somebody stealing something.
Hand in hand.
Really? You were given no information at all? Maybe that was on purpose. Or maybe I'm making a mistake by telling you. But the voices, they tell me to tell you so.
We were told that we'd get more information once we met you.
Oh, perfect.
That
I
has
feel no moral guilt because
proven to be
the
not true.
the gray words that Siegfried has decided to give you. Therefore, I have no personal responsibility. Pagan stands up straight.
Well, that is a way to look at it.
Is a library in Vancouver. Very ancient one. Some may call it the Second Alexandria. And supposedly, there was a very powerful piece of literature stolen from that place. I think that Siegfried may want you all to bring it back.
Can you give us more details on this literature?
Well, I can describe what the book looks like. Because I'm not exactly too sure of the contents myself. It's this reddish, purplish text. Maybe some type of leather. Could be human skin, vampire skin.
Um,
Oh, yes, sorry.
no, with this, I'm going to say, with that little bit of information, this travel happens as you guys get to the front entrance of a bar.
Basically, the book is very demonic looking. Oh, yeah, we're here. Mini's going to find a nearby alleyway, scuttle into it, and peek from the corner.
As you
John is
do
full
that,
of personality.
the camera is going to shift as you enter. Do you guys enter the bar?
I do.
Okay. As John, you enter the bar at least. Oh, as John at least enters the bar, the camera pans in, and you see sitting on the other side, Kira, it seems who you have been waiting for is, or at least you can tell this person is definitely has a purpose that's not what you'd expect someone to walk in here for normally.
I'm guessing I'm able to clock them as a kindred.
Yeah, you're able to clock them as a kindred as they walk into the bar in front of you.
I'm going to, through aspects, heighten my senses and observe, keeping my head low.
All right. John, you walk in and you see a very normal looking bar. Couple of people in it. It's a Thursday night, so people are sparse, but there are some.
Gotcha. First thing I want to do whenever I'm called in for each jobs, I want to look for any vampires in the room.
Yeah. Do you want to
I would
roll
like to. I will roll in investigation, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's looking like an investigation roll.
Charisma etiquette, a fair contest?
Exploding dice.
We'll do I think it's actually for this, let's do that.
Etiquette?
We'll do charisma
Sure.
etiquette competition here.
Okay, sure.
Ninja, I'd also like to investigate and also use sense the unseen.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just for supernatural activity. Anything odd?
Do-do-do-do-do.
So I'll roll that. And I guess investigation.
6 passes, 2 fails.
Where's that? Yeah.
Only 2
All right.
successes.
This is John, you are able to distinctly get the feeling you clock someone who is almost doing too good of a job to not be seen. Like, you can tell they are putting effort into trying not to be a center of attention.
Alright, Carter, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk over to them, go to their table, pull a chair, I'm gonna roll intimidation, and I'm gonna say, "Can I get you a drink?" With a very, I know what you are look in my eyes.
Oh, right. I guess charisma, intimidation versus whatever. I'll say Kira, whatever you deem to be appropriate. For this, however you would react. As you see, the kindred you clocked has definitely clocked you. And Ellis, what did you roll?
I was rolling in aspects and investigation. I got 1 success. I'm not following John. I'm like staying like closer to like the wall, like the side of the room in the corner. I'm watching what John's doing, and I'm just keeping an eye out around and if there's anything else going on.
You don't immediately clock who John's going for, but once John makes himself a little bit more known, you definitely clock the fact that he's going up to a specific person.
Mhm.
What did John get?
I have three passes, 3 fails.
I have 6 passes, but a messy
God
critical.
damn.
Oh. So John walks up. He does what he does in an attempt to intimidate you. Kira, how do you react to this showboating that this person has done? An immediate, like, aggressive stance to you.
I'm going to look up from my drink, make eye contact with the man, crack a wicked, almost slightly psychopathic grin, and say, "Only if that drink is your blood."
Not exactly business casual. Fine. I can get more down to it.
Kira, you look
I'm
at your hand, and the glass has
here
cracked
from
and has slightly cut your hand. Just slightly.
collections. I'm looking for a certain piece of literature. Seeing as when I came in this building, you tried your best to hide. I mean, look, if you want to keep trying this intimidation duel, we can, but I'd like to talk it out. At least try.
So what are you here for?
I'm here for a piece of literature. It's gone missing.
Have you been told what it is?
Oh, I've been told what it is.
Say it. I need to know that you're the person that has been sent.
So this is more of a player fuck up? Did we actually get the name?
No, you did not.
Shit. That sneaky little hunchback.
Who sent you?
Lord of this region. You know
What's
who he
his
is.
name?
Carter, what's his name? I'm so bad at names.
Siegfried. His name is Siegfried.
God damn.
That's fair.
Siegfried.
Very well. Come with me. I'd like to stand and kind of lead John to like a side room, or outside to the alleyway, so we can involve Pagan.
I'll say, because you had aspects, I will say you were able to clock eventually with this, and you kind of saw it outside, that there was multiple of them. You don't know how many, but you only saw John majorly come in, and then later someone followed them as well, who's kind of standing off to the side.
Ninja, do I
That's the
notice?
benefit of coming in aggressive.
Do I notice anything besides the person that John is talking to? Do I notice anything else unusual, anything supernatural going on in this bar?
This whole bar feels like entropy. This whole bar feels like it doesn't normally move. And it's almost like magical or like occulty to an extent of how just off it feels. It kind of makes you almost a little like, it almost feels like if you still had blood, your blood just kind of was slowing or stopping. And it feels uncomfortable to be here. And like you can very distinctly, when you stop for a moment and think about it, it's like, oh, this place almost gives an aura that makes me not want to be around it.
Okay. I'm not gonna follow John and Kira, but I am going to step outside, like go outside, but I'm gonna find like a fire exit or something to leave and like go around the building and meet up with them.
Okay. And just to confirm one thing, Tim, what have you done through this whole transaction?
Well, I followed when John and sorry, say the name again. Ellis. Walked in, and then as soon as John was like leaving, but Ellis wasn't and was kind of staying by the door, I was like, this is the better place to be. I also would rather not want to walk up. I'm like trying to be as like not in the way as possible.
Are you joining
Okay.
Aiden in the alleyway?
No. Like I walked inside with Ellis because like I was told to like stick with them, and like in my head like these people are the ones that are like quote taking care of me. So
Like first job, you know, kind of shadowing. You're like, I don't know what you think, and I don't want to
I'm
mess it up.
literally like that. Like literally in my head, I am like treating it like it's a retail job, and I'm supposed to be shadowing them, not
For an
saying
intern?
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not saying anything, just like absorbing everything. So like when John asked my opinion, like the thing before I was like, I don't know.
All right.
John leaves and Alice leaves with you too.
Well, you guys are both leaving, then I'm following you guys.
Who are you following?
I mean, I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
Oh
I look
wait,
over
sorry.
to them
John
to
is
follow.
leaving with Kira, and Ellis is walking out the door.
Yeah, Alice kind of.
Yeah,
slips
Ellis is
away.
walking out the door because I've been with you.
Okay.
Okay.
You're following me.
Kira, where do you take this new acquaintance?
I'm just gonna take him to a back room so that we can discuss things without being heard by, so we can discuss what's going on without necessarily running the risk of violating the masquerade.
Okay. You step into this room,
Basically
John.
the back of house, because there's no way the bar isn't in on it.
Oh, absolutely. John, you feel it as you follow this figure into like further in the back room. You haven't felt something like this in a long time, but it almost feels like you're seasick.
So what is that? Some kind of temporal dimension filled with puppets or something?
I'm, not the right person to ask that question. I worry myself with the logistical details, the less fantastical, as ironic as that may be.
Ah, the bookkeeper, so to speak.
More like the person who throws books in the trash and fetches books that have gotten lost.
Fair enough. So,
And you are?
John, one of Siegfried's main enforcers. He extends
I
a
know you
hand.
by reputation. I will shake his hand.
So,
I'm afraid your reputation precedes you, John.
I'm sorry for my aggressive shtick. I just thought it'd be the best way to keep you from noticing my compatriots. And to see if you would spill the beans early.
Your compatriots. You mean the albino, the small child, and
The hunchback?
of Vancouver.
Yes. They're
Yeah.
all
I
somewhere
caught you
around.
before you even came in. Don't worry about it.
Ah, good. So, what do you know about this missing book?
The reason you don't know of my existence is probably because of my station. See, I'm not directly affiliated with Siegfried. I'm actually affiliated with the library. You might have had it described to you as the second library of Alexandria, if you will, although quite frankly, that's an understatement. I
Human knowledge
am
isn't that
here
useful.
to ensure things go as planned, which means giving you information I can regarding the disappearance of the book and tagging along to make sure that nothing goes horribly awry in the process of retrieving it.
Okay, I can work with that. Be good to have another experienced vampire on the team. Especially since we have that sapling with us.
Let's hope our decades upon centuries of life balance out. How old is he? A week? 2 weeks? He's gotta be grieving.
Has to be. They don't seem
You-
to know anything about what they're doing or what they're going to do here. just silently following us like a
As y-
retail trainee.
As you guys are discussing, you hear the loudest crash you've ever heard in your life.
Which
As you see, as you lovingly said, the Hunchback of Vancouver lying on the ground with one of the tables somehow has landed on him, managing to flip it.
There it is. I was wondering where he was.
Wait,
My head.
I thought he was outside.
Oh, Ellis, you fully saw him look like in his head he thought he was sneaking in, and then whiff it really hard.
Wait, so
He's gonna
so
stand
Tim and
straight
I
up.
go around like kind of like around like an alleyway back up to where Pagan was like around the corner. We meet up with him, but Pagan snuck in.
You saw Pagan, was going in like a back, like side, like a patio entrance almost.
Yeah.
And just like put his hand on a table, and the table, he kept going down, and the table just rotated on top of him essentially.
Pagan's gonna stand straight up as quickly as possibly can. He's going to look at everybody,
Most impressed.
and he's going to nod and acknowledge that it never happens.
It's so real.
I guess we're seeing
Well.
this through a window or something.
Yeah, you guys are seeing this through a window or the open
I'm
doorway
gonna
if you want to look through the
Turn
doorway.
to Tim. I'm gonna point at Pagan and be like, "See that? Don't do that."
That look at you in
I,
trouble.
I like nod and like I'm mental noting that in my head. Like, oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
actually see through the window John putting his hand on his forehead in just disbelief. Like he just met this guy and he's like, God damn it.
Just gonna look at John, scoff, and just say, fucking amateurs.
Hey, he's not with us. He's another neutral informant party, as far as I know.
Yeah,
I don't even know his name.
it's
It's-
Pagan.
You're
No.
kidding me. It's Pagan?
Yes, it's Pagan.
Alright, I'm calling you Pagan too, because it's just gonna get confusing for me.
You're talking about Marcus?
Uh,
No,
I almost miss working in those days.
I'm Pagan. He's nicknamed Pagan. Not confusing. He's big. Call him Dog Pagan, if you really need to, you know?
Let's get down to business.
What business? As I was trying to sneak in here, I neglected using my ears.
We were, before you came in, discussing few minor details, but mostly about the book.
Oh,
Now that we have both informants in the room, this could probably be a lot easier to get the information from. 1 second. You see John go over to the window, looks over directly at the other two vampires. He like signals, "Come on, get in here already." I mean, if this guy's in here.
It looks like Alice was about to pull out a pack of cigarettes.
I'm sure you understand that I have to train the young one.
She rolls her eyes, puts it back in her pocket, and goes back inside.
Anyways, what do you think our next step should be? He turns back to our. Mika, what's your character's name again?
Kira.
Sorry, can you repeat it?
Kira.
Kira. What do you think our next step should be, Kira?
I mean, my first thing is I'm gonna extend my hand and introduce myself to Pagan and Alice and Tim, much as two of the three pain me to introduce myself to. Pleased to finally make your acquaintance, Alice. Your reputation precedes you as well, and as for the other two, I can't say I know you, but I'm pleased to make your acquaintance.
I
My
hope
name is
it was
Kira.
only good
I
things.
work for the library. You might know my reputation as the Ghost of Prague, but I'm
John,
here
that is a name you
to-
have heard.
Sorry, who were you talking to, Linder?
John, that is a name you have heard before.
Is that a name I have heard at all?
No, actually.
John visibly makes a mental note, but he doesn't really say anything past that, besides a nod of respect.
I'm here on behalf of the library's caretaker to. Someone took Pagan out back and shot him, thank God. I'm here on behalf
No,
the
we
library.
lost.
No. Oh, no.
Pagan.
What you say?
Technical
Ooh, that you
difficulties.
wanna make well, well, 'cause you
Let me
did.
try that.
What you
About to go into my
say?
big Ocean's 11, like, here's the
Ooh, that you
lowdown,
want
motherfuckers. We got.
Before we continue, I want to clarify. Did John and Kira not go into like a back room?
They did.
They did. Pagan was trying to sneak in. They heard that noise from outside the backroom door.
Okay, they left the back room
And
to go see
left
what
the
noise
back
was?
room, saw that, brought you all into the back room, and now you were in this like
Okay,
quiet room
just want to
discussing.
clarify.
Yeah, no. That's good clarification. I will.
Well, dang, everyone.
Well, dang. I might have to edit this part depending on how long Salem's gone for.
You know
I don't know.
I'm gonna take this chance to pee because I am going to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I was gonna end right after that expedition anyway, so.
God damn it.
We'll have a little.
Of course, Salen's technical difficulties have to spring up now.
Question
Never
is, do
trust
we just
a
have
pagan.
the exposition and then edit in Salen's like, ooh.
Well,
What?
it messes
Are
up
you
the
sure?
camera. Oh wait, Salem said his computer crashed. Give him a sec. I will note when it happened, and I'll do a little spiel when it comes back and cut in and be like, "Hey guys, we had technical difficulties," because it like messes where everyone's camera placement is because of how I have to set this up. I'm gonna try and find a method that allows me to like have little like green icons appear next to your name when you're talking. I just haven't figured it out yet, but I want that so it, works better, and I don't need to keep doing the shit I'm doing right now.
Could potentially bake it into the PNGs used for Viedo Tube, although it could be.
Well, I was hoping to do it without VO too, like straight up pull
Like
because
from Discord.
yeah, whenever we talk like the Discord bubbles, I was hoping to find a way to separate the Discord bubbles from a stack to all being together. Hello.
There's definitely a way of doing that because a lot of podcasts do stuff like that.
Yeah, I know there's a way. I haven't figured it out yet, but once I figure it out, it'll be
Like a
great.
plugin or something.
Yeah,
Go
probably.
look in general.
Oh my god, the man is back.
I'm back.
Whoa.
I unplugged
The
my
man,
should use
the
that
myth,
noise.
the the
I like.
But I love my awkward elevator ding. Salem, pop open your thing.
Yes. Am I in the right spot?
You'll automatically go back to the right spot.
Cool.
As long as your names don't change, it'll automatically go back. I'm gonna redo a little intro so that there's not this awkward break, and I'll edit this part out.
Sorry about that, guys.
No worries. Things happen.
Okay, Salen, we're used to technology hating you. At least this
I
time.
unplugged technology. I
Okay.
pulled my foot back and I unplugged my computer.
This needs to be
That's awesome.
This is in character as
this whole clip is going to go in like a bonus thing on YouTube. Like it has to. This whole cutout
Nice.
bit.
Hello, YouTube. The editing doesn't take into account the fact that all of us have an extra chromosome.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Okay.
I would like everyone's direct attention to the meme I posted in like the group chat. I think I'm hilarious.
Altier definitely thinks they're hilarious.
Check this shit out.
Which one?
Well,
That's the
Salen's already
voice
seen it,
thing.
and it's in the little group thing, the
Yep, on the
Chronicle
VC.
session.
The voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The voices.
Okay.
That guy is a cannibal.
Oh,
Wait, we lost Phoenix.
John died.
John.
Oh, no.
John, what happened?
Lullaby.
John definitely hit the wrong button. Okay, good thing I didn't start back.
Um.
John, reshare your screen.
God,
Well, yeah,
Ninja-
obviously, every Malkavian hears voices, clearly.
Yeah.
Ninja, you
The
definitely
voices.
use the elevator music for that little intermission.
I'll do
Dylan
something with
dies.
it. Yeah, once I click in and start watching this again, there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna bring us back in. Apologies, there were technical difficulties. We are going to come back to all of our group meeting in the back room of the Gaslight Pub.
That's such a weird name. Gaslight Pub? Oh, wait. Gaslight, like gaslighting.
Someone's
that
clearly
book?
never been gaslit
Gas-
before.
That's not a thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's kind of hard to gaslight somebody who's constantly being gaslit.
Who is just gaslighting himself?
I'm speaking directly to Pagan as I'm saying that.
Sure, yes. Alright, yes, book. Book. Serious stuff.
So, the library would not have such a wealth of information were it not potentially one of the most secure places on the planet. The number of security measures to make sure that things don't get in that shouldn't, and much more importantly, that things don't leave that shouldn't. There are X-scopes and K-scopes all over. There are automated turrets and kindred stationed around the clock with mastery of aspects. There are guards stationed at every single orifice out of every single room, armed with only the best equipment, not just for stopping regular ne'er-do-wells, but also for stopping kindred. Here's where things get complicated. Nobody knows how the book was stolen. All we know is the book was not there, because we could not detect, nor did we ever see anyone entering, and we did not detect, nor could we see anyone leaving.
Oh yeah, you guys have like some kind of barrier that detects all magical creatures.
Is
It's
there
like-
any protections for detecting normal mortals?
What's
Just gonna
the
open it.
what's the mortal expression that the Ein have been using recently? Ah, right. Out the ass.
Well, I mean, he does bring a point. Technically, your barrier thingamajigger wouldn't trigger a mortal soul.
I
The thing
just
with
think
a mortal soul is they can't, escape the naked eye.
That is a conundrum, isn't it? Oh well, looks like it's too hard. Let's go. All go back home. Take a nice long sleep.
Do you want to be the person to go home and tell Sigrid that you failed, not because of any outside circumstances, but because you gave up? That's a great way to see the sun firsthand.
Well, really, I'm not the guy who needs to tell Siegfried things. I tell Siegfried things when I get told things. I'm not usually the guy who does things. Maybe I am doing something. Oh God.
I'm just gonna look at John again and just shake my head. Fucking amateurs.
I deal with this all the time.
My condolences.
Thank you. Look, I don't think giving up is an option,
Oh,
even
okay.
for you.
Well, if that's the case, maybe we should start by investigating the area. See if somebody saw something.
Well,
Oh, maybe I can open up my cameras.
cameras?
Your
Yeah,
what?
cameras. You know, like that
Cameras?
thing. He's just gonna point to a camera, just a random camera.
You're in a windowless
Alice's-
room.
Alice is going to
I'm
squint.
pointing through the wall. Just imagine it. Just imagine there is a camera to where my finger is pointing at. Okay, thank you.
Think really
Mm.
hard.
What do you see on these cameras?
Oh, I just spy on people's lives.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the information broker. You think he doesn't have ways of getting information?
So it's up to you. We can check my cameras, or we can go diplomacy. Pagan is going to shudder.
I get the distinct impression, and the humility required, to know that most likely none of us other than John have a diplomatic skill set.
If we need to talk will talk. I think we should check these cameras first, then we'll make our next move.
I also should mention that most kindred are pretty good at dodging cameras in the first place. Not that many do know, obviously, because you guys didn't know that there were, I've been constantly watching you all on a camera.
Speak for them.
Then you
Nice
knew
all
who
of
we
them.
were when we came.
How old do you think I am? How old am I, actually? Wait.
How long since you've died?
Question for Ninjor.
Yes.
I'm assuming that Pagan has a camera that saw like when we approached the apartment.
JFK.
When you think back to it, you now, like in your mind, initially didn't think about it, but now it's like, oh, there were 2 on the front door, 1 in the elevator, 1 when the elevator
But
opened.
now I'm wondering what Pagan saw, considering.
You're not sure?
Listening to every conversation we've ever had in that elevator. His favorite podcast.
You
Well,
didn't
I know
you
that-
didn't
I
see
know that
any of
too.
Siegfried's elevator.
I have what? I have my cameras, but I don't ever look into them. I usually just watch some person.
The observationist.
No, I don't really know this. I don't think Pagan would have access to his cameras here. So Pagan wouldn't have access to Pagan's cameras here. So therefore, we have to go back to the apartment, or I don't know.
I guess yeah, we could go back to the apartment.
All right.
Back we go.
So is that your first investigation? So at this point in the night, that seems to be your plan. I'm going to say, as you get back to Pagan's apartment, it is roughly around 11:15 at night.
What time of year is it?
It is February.
Dark
Days are shorter, but they are getting longer slowly.
days. Yes.
Sunrise
And-
is at 7 a.m.
So yeah, you have roughly a little under 8 hours till sunrise. And as you arrive at Pagan's apartment, Pagan gets to work. Hitting a single key, you see the monitors that Pagan has all around go live with life, and the whole computer turns on. It looks like it's immediately open too. You see, tabs open and software that appears to be tracking a bunch of different things. Some of them are like stock screens, it looks like. Some of them are cameras. Some of them you even see what looks like a CB or like ham radio off to the side that looks like it hasn't been powered on in a while.
A man of culture.
Is there like a couch in the room or something?
You think there's a shape of a couch underneath what appears to be a bunch of like notebooks or like technology.
Elsa's gonna push some notebooks like off the side of the couch and like sit down. She'll pull out her box of cigarettes and stick one in
How
her mouth.
organized those notes seem to be. Pagan is completely unaware, or he does not care.
John similarly will go to the couch, open his very classy cigarette box, little case thing like made of silver. Don't take a cigarette out.
What? No. Pagan's gonna hand you guys like iPads, laptops, etc.
I have
Mm.
no idea how to use this.
That's
Ellis
okay.
is not
This
gonna take
pen.
that.
Yeah, John just kind of like slides it away.
I
If
refuse.
you hand me a laptop, I do know how to use it.
Oh,
If
See,
he
yeah,
hands
yeah,
me an
yeah.
iPad, I'm gonna look at him with the most indignified look in history, and just kind of firmly place it on the table. Like,
Away.
Did you die yesterday?
Old mother truckers. You guys do know, like, half of all vampire misconducts are caught on camera.
They can catch you on camera.
That's. He's going to say nothing and go to the youngest kindred. So, nameless. Do you use
it's
iPad?
it's Tim, and well, I mean, I
Timothy, my
don't.
boy. Yeah, have this iPad.
I mean, iPad is okay. I usually use a computer.
All right, here's a Lenovo.
Thank you.
God.
We're not sponsored by Lenovo.
I
I need to state this.
It's still really funny.
A Lenovo, then.
Yeah, there we go.
What exactly do you want me to do with the computer?
Oh, just hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes of video footage.
Oh,
There you go.
that's easy. I start doing that.
Tim, how about you roll me let's go intelligence technology check.
Good God, okay.
You can add your specialty for this if you'd like.
I'd like to point
I
out
don't
that
know how to do that.
I don't think vampires can use touchscreens.
That's why you're on a
I said,
laptop.
were you...
No.
No.
I mean, could you if you had one of those pen things?
You can if you have a pen thing, or if you have the gloves that allow you to use
Yeah.
touchscreens.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I was thinking, and then on top of that, for other reasons.
It also depends if it's a
Gloves
pressure
wouldn't
screen
work
or
with
if it's a
pen,
heat
would it?
screen. Well, some
Really
touch screens
quickly
don't base off
realizes
heat.
You can't use the touchscreens, and he rummages around a drawer and picks up some pens. Oh, right, silly me. Forgot about that. Here you go.
What does so when I add a specialty, what do I do? Does I add another dice?
So it gives you an extra dice, yeah.
Okay, cool. I have to count this now.
Ellis still refuses to touch the iPad.
John is on his third smoke.
I'd also like to point out you
will
can't
also
smoke it.
refuse to touch the,
Phoenix?
And you guys said anything above, so it's like 6 and above is a
Yes.
pass?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
a 0 is also a pass. A 0 is a 10.
Yeah.
Phoenix, I just want to point out that you can't smoke the cigarettes. But what Ellis is doing, it's just in her mouth. She's not actually smoking it.
Why can't I smoke it?
Because we're
You
going to
don't
take the
breathe.
fire
don't
alarm.
breathe.
You don't breathe. It's not like you're smoking it. It's literally just burning to the edge of your fingers,
but,
and then you put it out.
But
God, I
fire.
miss
But
smoking.
you can't light it because of fire.
No,
Oh.
you can light cigarettes. Small fires are fine for kindred.
They're fine? Okay.
Hmm? Imagine how fucking awful kindred life would be if someone just lights a cigarette 2 feet away from you and you just go.
No, I'm saying, but the
You
flame's
just
so
can
close
bust.
to your hand. That's what I'm saying. It's so close
Jo-
to your hand.
you
that
see,
the cigarette
John has
yeah.
like one of those like metal cigarette holders, like the end that you like put in a cigarette to.
Hmm.
So I got 6 successes, but I had like a 10 on the hunger dice and a 10 on a normal dice as well.
Oh, a
Messy
messy
critical.
critical. Okay. You all see this very unexpected. Someone you have all been kind of looking down on, this green vampire, just go to work. You see them just start typing and going through footages and doing all this parsing of data, and it gets to a point now where you're not even really sure what they're doing. It just kind of looks like white text on a black screen as it just kind of goes by as they're entering things. Tim, you're able to sort through certain data, instead of looking at all the cameras, just the ones in like surrounding area, and looking at and connecting it with any certain people in a certain time frame that it would have happened to, and you're able to sort through this data. With a messy critical, I will say you get, you see them just hone into it. Almost like their eyes are almost like glazed over as they're working on this.
Maybe, just maybe, the fledgling has some redeeming qualities.
Well,
And-
Siegfried did say that there was only one reason they were alive. Didn't hear the second part, though.
As you hit enter, you catch a single still image. You just saw them appear on screen for just enough out of frame. You see a figure that appears to be holding a purple covered tome, roughly about 10-15 blocks away from the, I apologize, it is actually called the Lamplighter pub.
No, it's the Gaslighter pub.
It's a gaslighter pub.
It's a Gaslighter pub. You see a figure. You catch a single frame of them. What appears to be, from your best guess, physically looking in their mid to late 20s. Long hair. It's hard to make out a lot from them. They have a little bit of a paler complexion, and their hair is kind of like a darker, like brown color just behind them. The only thing of real note is the fact that they have what you can tell, Kira, you immediately know is what that book that went missing.
That's it. That's the one.
Really? Because I thought the real book was a little more purple and a little more demonic.
Doesn't look like human skin.
Like,
It doesn't.
It's not.
Well, you're not so good of an information broker now, are you?
well, the human skin part may have been added in because I thought it'd be cooler, but
Well, fair enough.
If my
And-
memory serves correctly, the book was written before we had the methods to make good books out of skin, but after people became smart enough to stop doing it anyways.
oh yeah, this looks
Sounds like a little complication.
We think they're kindred, no?
The fact that they're only on one screen.
The something to note, Ellis, you would probably know this. When looking from what you can see, it you know what they appeared to have used here was this appeared to be of someone with at least some sort of ability to hide or camouflage or obfuscate themselves. You recognize
they can do what I do.
you recognize on a very personal level that this seems to be someone who can has some talents and abilities similar to yours.
Is that a obfuscate thing, or is that a whatchamacallit, oblivion thing?
I can double check that, but I am not sharing that information with the others.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm double checking from like a player perspective due to Kira's.
Yeah, no, I can answer that from player perspective. I'm just letting you know that
The information itself
character-wise,
is not shared with.
I'm not sharing that. Where am I at?
And
Actually, Ninja might be able to answer that. This is an Oblivion.
I can fill that in at the end.
This is an Oblivion or obfuscate thing.
But with that revelation sitting in this room and your first real lead on this, I'm going to end the night here at 11:30 for this first session. We will hopefully be picking this up next week, where this story will continue here in Vancouver, the city of glass. Thank you to my players for joining me and learning this system with me. And thank you to everyone at home watching.
Yes.
I guess good night. And if the players want to say good night as well.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, mortals.
Good night.
Good night.
Silly little kind.
All right. See you next time.